Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified. They wanna get it, I'ma give it to them. Just in time. Who's that? Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified. They wanna get it, I'ma give it to them. Just in time. Just in time.
Come on, guys.
All right, let's try that again.
Oh, let me guess. You forgot to unmute.
I unmuted the wrong one, okay?
Hi, guys.
He's supposed to be in charge of the audio. I'm supposed to be in charge of the...
Not
Hi,
over
guys.
there. Not over there.
All right, back to me.
Yay.
Focus on me. Camera one. You are Just in Time for some Just in Time, and we are finally fixing our audio issues, but apparently we're having audio issues. So with me, of course, as always, are my two co-hosts, Kels and Andrew. Say hi to the world. We'll
Hi
try
again.
this again.
Guys, hi, world.
God,
World.
what is going on?
The world is here.
Andrew, as you can see, is wearing headphones today, so we are going to make sure that our audio sounds good. Are we clipping? Are we good? Are we crystal clear?
That's the people. As far as I'm concerned, we're not clipping.
No? Well, I mean, you have the headphones on, so
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
you would know
clipping to me.
better than anybody.
I do.
Yeah. So today's episode is called Bust a Recap. This is our halfway point. We are halfway through our first season, so we are going to be recapping everything that we've discussed over the last 5 episodes. And we'll be discussing some new things. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So with that being said, today's episode is sponsored by Yo Sakura, which is a sushi restaurant in New Bedford, owned by somebody that I have known since 2nd grade. We've been besties since 2nd grade. Yeah.
Jealous.
His name is William J. Foley. Shout out to you, William. If you guys have never been to the restaurant, it's a tiny little. It's so cute.
Oh, wait, Sakura over by,
Talking to the microphone so people can hear you.
I know, but Sakura is,
No, Yo Sakura.
Yo Sakura.
Joe.
Where is it?
Joe.
It's in New Bedford. It's south end of New Bedford.
Japanese?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Japanese sushi and cuisine, and he's got quite an extensive menu. And honestly, I went there with my husband not too long ago, and I mean the experience alone is just it's incredible.
I love Japanese
It's
food.
very, very authentic Japanese food. It's delicious. He actually had an article written in the Standard Times about him, which was really good. Very well written article. But if you live in the New Bedford area, or if you're ever in New Bedford, make sure you go check it out because it's worth the trip. It's worth the trip.
Do they throw shrimp at you at this place? No.
Do they throw shrimp at you?
No, that's hibachi, right?
That's
it's not
hibachi.
that.
That's
Yeah, that's
thing.
hibachi.
It's a different
That's
thing.
yeah. We're talking sushi.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine.
So anyway, so that's our sponsor. That's our sponsor. Also, I want to give a shout out to Megan, who
She's in the comments.
she's in the comments.
She's in the comments.
All right, so Megan, shout out to you for these amazing cups that we
Yeah.
have here that say
That'll
just
probably
in
be a
time. So
better shot
if
for
you hold
you.
on, let
There
me
you
get
go.
up close.
When they have our names on them.
Just in time.
And
These were an amazing gift from Megan. So Megan, thank you for these. I've actually never owned one of these before. I was telling you
Yeah,
guys
you were
earlier.
saying.
Yeah, I've never owned one of these before, and
didn't know how you
it keeps
looked
your
at it.
cold drinks cold, keeps your hot drinks hot, and it took us 20 minutes to figure out how to open the
and
lid,
open them.
which was fun.
What a day we
It
live in.
was really funny.
It was an experience, to say the least. So comment section, how's the audio today? Are we good?
Really good.
Are we crystal clear now that we are unmuted?
You know what, Justin?
Oh shit, unmuted.
No.
Oh no, we are.
Yeah, we are unmuted. We are good to go. We are good to go. All right, so we talked about our sponsor. We introduced today's episode. We gave our shout outs for the cups. Again, thank you, Megan, for the cups. We will
Megan.
have our merch available soon. Hopefully by next week we will have our store open and you'll be able to buy shirts and hoodies and awesome merch. Any money that we raise obviously is going to go back to the show. We're going to try to improve on our equipment. We'll get some better microphones, some better audio equipment, some new lighting. Maybe a neon sign to put behind.
That would be dope.
yeah,
That would be great.
That would be
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Yep. One step at a time, though. We'll see what we can do.
One little baby
Yeah.
step at a time.
So let's jump into our first section, our first segment, which is give it a shot. Give it a shot. So this week we're going to do something a little different. So normally I come up with a drink recipe.
Oh, that was my fault. I keep forgetting I have to mute it afterwards. It gets quiet. And
That's
then
fair. That's fair. So normally I come up with a drink recipe. I introduce it to you guys. We put it on the bottom of the screen below me, and we do that. But this week, Kels actually went to the liquor store, and on Kels's journey, I handed Kels some money and said, go get us something mystery, surprise us, and don't tell me what it is. And that's exactly what Kels did.
I had the guy at the liquor store pick something unusual that wasn't licorice and wasn't root beer. Those are the rules.
Yeah, no licorice, no
licorice, no
root
root
beer.
beer.
No, because I don't do licorice or root beer. So
Now, I know what it is because they made me look.
yeah. Yeah.
I know what it is, but you guys don't.
So we're gonna taste it and guess.
So
Me
we
and
had
Justin are gonna
Kels
guess.
poured into these cups, and this is what it looks like. So it looks like a whiskey thing, but it's all we do know is that it's a 99, right?
It is a
It is a 99, so it's a 99 something. Should we smell it first, or should we just go for it?
It's so sweet.
Oh, geez. No, smell it first. That's we were smelling it first. Jesus Christ,
What?
Andrew.
What? What'd I do? Did I do something?
That was gross. That
What?
was disgusting.
Don't tell me. Okay.
Well, you already tasted it, so
No.
now you can't comment.
No, I
you
shut
can't
them
say
off.
anything.
I can shut my
I
taste
can
buds
shut
off.
my
You
taste
can't
buds
say
off.
anything.
They're off.
So I will say, before I even try it, before I even taste it, I'm gonna say that it smells to me like gingerbread or like pumpkin spice or something, something seasonal like that. So yeah, so we will. But Kels, you already know what it
I
is,
do
so
know
you
what it
can't
is.
comment. Andrew, you already put it in your mouth and spit it back out, so you
Don't.
can't comment.
Oh my god, the
Put it in
things
your
I could
mouth.
say.
Yeah, we're gonna leave right there.
Yeah.
So
Choose
with
your
that
words
being
wisely.
said, chin chin,
Cheers.
salud.
Cheers with your
Here we go.
sweetie drink. Oh god.
Disgusting.
Oh, it's vile.
That is awful.
That's the flavor?
That is awful. That is awful. All right. So I'm gonna
guys.
stick with
You guys. You guys.
It's so gross.
You guys are adorable.
Look at my eyes.
oh, that was gross. That was gross.
It's so vile.
That was gross. So I'm gonna stick with my
Melody with just spitters or quitters.
spitters are quitters.
I drank it again.
I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm gonna stick with like something like gingerbread or something. That's my final answer. Andrew, what do you got?
I'm gonna get it so wrong.
Or like snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle sounds almost right in a way, but it's not breakfast. There's no maple syrup, but even though I want to say it's something like French
It's
toast.
giving me some weird like little butterscotch aftertaste.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
can
That's what I could
see-
smell. I
I
thought
can
it was
see why
butterscotch,
you.
but no, I'm gonna say I have no fucking idea.
It's something fall related. All right, Kels, give it to me. What is it?
You were half right with the butterscotch.
Half right with butterscotch. Okay.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter?
Yeah.
That
doesn't
was
taste
peanut
like
butter?
Peanut butter, but yup.
No, that definitely didn't taste like peanut butter.
No, I can kind of get it now, but that's not.
Still
a thing.
vile. Still like
Yeah, it's
my
pretty
eyes
vile.
are watering.
So
right now.
yeah, let's save you guys the trouble and don't
Let's don't buy
ever
that.
get 99 peanut butter.
Don't,
You know what? If you
don't
like,
ever get them as a sponsor.
if
Blah,
you,
blah, blah,
the thing about the 99s is that you have to mix them. They need to be mixed with something.
I don't
Oh,
care.
there's a woman
don't
on
think so.
TikTok that does that. She gets the bucket and she
Just
mixes them, and then she pulls out 2 or 3 at a time, and then pours it in a cup and drinks it. And she does this weird thing too, where she pours them in the cup, and then she's like, "All right, cheers," and she goes, and then drinks it.
because it's TikTok. Gotta have that thirst trap.
Licks it from the bottom of the glass to the top, and then drinks it.
Everyone's
But she doesn't mix it with anything else. She doesn't mix it with like soda or anything. It's literally just the 99s, and that's it.
I respect that.
It is disgusting.
I respect it.
It is disgusting. All
Now
right,
that I
so
can't feel my throat anymore, I guess that's a good thing.
yeah,
That is
that's
good.
yeah.
Nature's
I
remedy.
got to see my throat today.
You got to see. Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, I got to see my vocal cords today. So you guys know that I've been dealing with laryngitis for like 2.5 months now.
Let's make this our speed rack. So
Yeah, this could be our speed rack.
All right, so speed rack.
Give
us the title.
Here we go.
Speed rack.
Speed rack time.
Tell me about your ENT appointment.
Ear, nose, and throat.
Yep.
So
Tell me about
I
it.
went and saw my ENT, who is my brand new ENT, who is an adorable little twink boy, by the way.
Okay.
He's so cute.
All right.
He got excited when he found out I did drag.
Nice.
So I was like, yay. So what they do is it's an endoscope. They take a very thin camera and stick it up your nose and down your throat, which sounds fucking terrible. And I was terrified of it. I was like, oh God, I'm going to gag. It's going to be awful. No, they take lidocaine and they spray it up your nose and it drips down your throat. You can't feel anything.
Oh.
And then he was like, do you want to watch? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to watch.
Oh.
So he turned the chair around. There's this big screen behind me, and I got to watch as he put this camera up my nose, down my throat. I got to see my vocal cords.
Wow.
I was like, this is dope. This is like the little boy, the person who watches Dr. Pimple Popper was like, this is amazing.
Oh my God, you watch Dr. Pimple
I
Popper?
do.
No,
You don't.
no,
Yeah, I do.
no. Hard pass.
But yeah,
Hard
no, it
pass.
was really cool. So I got to see how vocal cords worked and how the vocal folds touched and shit. And I
Yep.
was like, he made me make noise and talk and stuff.
So
and
you
I was
watched them go blah,
and
blah,
then-
blah,
yeah,
blah,
and
blah.
I watched them open and close every time I breathed and stuff. I was like, this is baller.
That's
this
pretty
is so
cool.
cool. And then I get to watch it in HD next Friday because I'm going into Boston to get more tests done. So
That's pretty cool. See, now I have a phobia when it comes to blood and stuff. If I see blood, then I get queasy
I
and
can't
stuff.
deal with my own.
If I see my own blood, I'm donezo.
Yeah, I can't deal with my own.
Were you here that night actually?
Oh,
So
Yes.
I was at work one night at Bobby's, and I was horsing around with one of the customers. I won't say who it was, Casey. And Casey started chasing me, and I ran, and I went to go around the corner, and I put my hand where the door is supposed to be, and you know how there's that little metal thing on the side of the door where it clicks in.
Yeah, where it catches.
the
The
kick
catch.
So my ring got caught in that little metal thing,
And it went.
into my finger. Yeah. So I looked down and I saw the ring halfway into my finger, and I pulled it out, and when I pulled it out, I could see the bone and the nerves
Yup.
and and of course I'm
Shock white.
yeah.
Shock
Oh yeah.
Shock white.
And actually, anybody that knows my friend Eddie was here that night, and he literally grabbed me by the loops of my pants and held me up and carried me over to a chair. And they were taking care of my hand, and I was like this the whole time because I couldn't.
I had you focusing on me and drinking
yeah.
water.
Yep. I couldn't
I was
deal
like,
with
look
it.
at my face, look at me, drink this.
I
Here.
could not deal. So how are your vocal cords? Are you good?
So I'm good. I do have some damage. It's
Yep.
not permanent. So he
Okay.
was like, it's fine. You'll be fine. It's just going to take some time.
Good.
So he was like, you can't be singing in the stratosphere for a while,
Right. Good. Congratulations.
but yeah, thank you.
You were
Congratulations.
we went to Boston one night after the podcast recently, and you went up there, and your song choice was perfect because you had a little rasp in your voice. You probably shouldn't have sang, but you did, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, the rasp worked
It
for
was
you.
fun.
You made it
phenomenal.
work.
I kind of felt like, in as much as I don't like to harken back to Friends, but I felt like Phoebe when she got sick and did Smelly Cat, and everybody was like, she's amazing. That's what I felt like.
That's
But yeah,
amazing.
and now I've learned how to grunge my voice up, which is cool. I know what it feels like, so it's part of the muscle memory. So,
I love it. I love
You've
it.
heard me
Yeah.
sing that same song
It was
since
good.
then.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations. I'm happy
Thank
for you. That's great.
you.
That's great. So, all right. So our speed rack is done. We are going to move on to top shelf. Top shelf. Top shelf.
Top shelf. Oh,
Top shelf.
Today is gonna be.
So it's recap day. We're
Yeah.
gonna recap everything that we've discussed. And I think I'm gonna go. So this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna recap from our most recent episode and go backwards, and then we'll talk about new stuff after that, if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, that works.
Sounds good.
Because I mean, the first thing that I want to acknowledge is last week's episode. So last week was a huge episode. We had Monica Moore in the house. We talked about what happened at Drag Storytime that prior weekend, and
For those of you who aren't in Massachusetts, who don't know what we're talking about, we're actually talking about what happened at the Taunton Library in Taunton, Massachusetts.
Well, Taunton and Fall River.
And
there were
Fall River,
incidents in both.
Started
but
at Fall River.
The worst of it was in Taunton.
Was in Taunton.
We had the NSC 131 group who stormed into the Taunton Library and interrupted Drag Storytime. It was a big thing. Made a lot of people uncomfortable. Monica was shaken up.
in the chat, by the way.
Monica was shaken up. Oh,
Hi,
Monica
Monica.
Moore is
Yeah,
in the chat.
Jason.
Hey, Monica.
Jason's in the chat.
And it was a very serious situation. And
It was scary.
Yeah. For lack of better terms, it was definitely scary. And the South Coast Network and the Fall River Pride Committee are both currently working on game plans to we're talking serious right now, and you're picking his nose.
Yeah, but they couldn't
Oh, I didn't
see
think
it.
we were on.
We weren't on.
Oh, okay.
This is what we do when we're not on camera.
Oh, so I could see it, but they couldn't see it.
Yes.
You guys are fucking me up.
Nothing happened, guys.
So it was a very serious topic. So with that being said, so we had Monica on the show. It was a fantastic show aside from the audio issues, which I'm assuming we don't have audio issues this time because nobody's complaining about it. So
Nobody's saying anything.
No one's
That's
saying
good.
anything.
And then so then after the show aired, I posted a status, and I'll read the status to you. It says, "We are so grateful to Monica Moore for joining us on the show today, and to Sean Connell of the Fall River Pride Committee for calling in. Also, big shout out and thank you to everyone else who tuned in and called in. Remember, you can always comment or call and leave us a message after the broadcast, and we will address it on our show the following week." Which, by the way, nobody has called and left us messages yet.
Yeah, we've
That
gotten
bothers
no
me.
message.
I would love for somebody
Please
to call and leave
do.
us a
Leave
message.
voice messages.
So that
right there.
because
It's in the corner.
our speed rack from now on is going to be a recap
That way.
of the week
That way.
before. So if
point
you
to
do
Justin's feet, and you'll get the number. Yeah, there you go.
It's right there.
if you do call in after the show airs, if you're not watching us live and you call into the show, you can leave us a message. So when we do the speed rack the following week, we'll listen to your messages live on the air, and we'll recap whatever it is that you wanted to address or whatever you wanted to discuss. So because we wouldn't have the show without you guys, so it's important that you guys chime in and talk to us. I say you guys all the time, and I'm trying to make a conscious effort to not
Guys, gals,
be-
and non-binary pals.
Right, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know that some people take offense to it. I just want to make sure that people know that I'm not being offensive when I say you
all I
guys.
can think of is,
Because
like,
I say
everybody's a dude. Like,
I say
I'm a
dude all the
dude,
time.
he's
Yeah,
a dude,
I'm constantly
she's
like,
a
dude. I say dude to you
well,
all the time, and
yeah.
nobody, it's
Doesn't bother
just
me.
it is what it is.
Let's not be that.
So also on the post it says, if you're interested in being a sponsor for one of our episodes, feel free to leave a message in our inbox for details, or if you would like to donate to help us update our equipment, the links can be found at the bottom of every episode. Which, again, if you guys want to donate to the show, our PayPal, our Cash App, and our Venmo are all right here on the bottom. So feel free to donate, and you'll help us to work on
Oh,
our
I like-
merchandise situation and update our equipment as
I like
well.
what
What's
Patrick
that?
said. So that great gentleman's in here. Patrick's in here, and he said, "Ladies, gentlemen's, and non-binary friends."
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That's
like it.
cute. That's
So
cute.
we're not stealing from Thomas Sanders.
That's cute. All right, so so that post, so I posted that, and then I had this person, Jill, who made a comment. So, Kels, if you want to pull that up on the
boy.
screen.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
Here
it.
we
do it.
go.
So Jill said, "I listened to most of this. I was disappointed about a few things. The host said that the gender of a commentator didn't matter, but quoted their shit talk. It absolutely matters. Host said they'd never take his kid to a drag story hour because he is a member of the Fall River Pride and will teach the child themselves. Did I hear that right? Question mark.
No, you didn't. But
Played devil's advocate several times, spewing the usual nonsense that should be talked about, but lacked a strong support statement. Referenced Turtle Boy, a teacher fired for sexual misconduct, as any type of legitimate source for anything ever." So, so I did respond to that comment, and
just can we
we want to unpack it? Do we want to unpack it?
I think we should unpack
Unpack.
just a little bit.
Okay.
Just
all right.
a
Just real quick.
little
Just
bit
real
of
quick.
that.
Yeah.
Real quick.
We'll unpack. Yeah, we'll unpack.
Because once that was a
So the
smorgasbord of misinformation.
The
Like, that
first
was-
part of it, I didn't really understand. They said the host said that the gender of the commentator didn't
Okay.
matter, but quoted their shit talk.
Okay,
It
so
absolutely matters. What are they?
They were talking about the caller that we had, the antagonistic caller that we had.
Okay.
And I was like, well, can we ask what your gender is? And you said it shouldn't matter.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what they're talking about.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, right. Because of the context of the conversation.
Yes.
Okay. And then you clarified
And I
why it
clarified.
mattered.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did address
So we
that.
fucking
Yeah.
fixed it.
We did address that. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Host said they'd
stop
never
listening.
take his kid to a drag story hour because he is a member of the Fall River Pride and will teach the child themselves. Did I hear that right?
No,
No,
you didn't.
You didn't
You
hear
did
that
not.
right.
No,
You did not
'cause
hear
I
that
know.
right at
I
all.
have talked about this when you said that. I've talked about it since
And
you
I
said it. I
agreed.
talked about it with Brittany. I was like, that was an amazing response because yeah, if it was your kid,
Yep.
no, I'll be responsible for teaching my kid about
Right.
Damn
intolerance
fucking
and things
straight.
like
Right.
that. Of
And that's
course.
how I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Like
Yep.
if for some reason ever have crotch fruit, I would want to teach my kids how to respect other people
Right.
in my own way.
Right.
I want to be the
Right.
first source of information.
Now I
want
feel
them
like
to come to me first.
I let me clarify with that too. I do feel
had
like
nothing
that.
to do with you being part of Fall River Pride.
Right? No.
That had nothing to do with it.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why that was brought in, but I think that the drag
Sabla
queen
high.
story time thing is it's their right to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are people out there that don't know how to explain acceptance and tolerance and all that stuff to their children.
And
So
this
I feel
gives an
like
option.
that's an outlet for them.
Yeah.
For me personally, I don't need that outlet. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it or it shouldn't be a thing. I'm just
Right.
saying I don't need to do that. I can teach my kids everything,
I think that we're all very. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's great for people that don't have that because
Right.
you're very well versed in the situation. You're
Right.
you're encompassed in the entire
Wait,
community.
we have a
Right.
community.
Right.
So for parents that want to get their kids educated, and not everybody is in the communities,
Yep.
and they may be completely straight hetero couples, and they
Yep.
want to teach their kids. So having an outlet like the drag story time is a good thing for certain people.
Mm.
But like you said, yeah, if you have your own kid, you should be responsible for teaching them intolerance and tolerance and everything.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're the dad of the group. Like
I
you're
am.
the
Yep.
only one with kids.
Yep.
I am.
So then they went on to say, played devil's advocate several times, spewing the usual nonsense that should be talked about, but lacked a strong support statement. So it seems to me like they expected me to, because when I say play the devil's advocate, I'm just speaking on behalf of the other side, right?
Yeah, so here's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
necessarily mean that I believe whatever it is that
And
I'm
also
saying. I'm
the-
just pointing out that that's an opinion that exists.
It's not your opinion, so therefore the burden of proof isn't on you.
Right.
So like he didn't actually believe the shit he was saying. He was saying it to act as if he believed he was saying
Right.
it. Because let's be real, if you've ever gotten into an argument with those dumbass people,
Yep.
they have no foundation of logic, like
Right.
none whatsoever. It's like talking to a brick wall. You can
Right.
give them all the statistics, all the science, all the everything, and they'll just be like, well, that's not what.
See, now again, all right, so
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. you know, like-
perfect example, playing devil's advocate. I feel like that there are certain topics where they will say something and then the other side won't be able to clarify exactly. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it happens on both sides. It
it
depends
definitely
on what
does.
the topic of
Especially-
discussion
Everybody
is.
gets stumped.
Well,
Right.
especially if it's an incendiary topic and something that's so close to you, like for instance, your fucking identity.
Right.
Like being LGBTQA is part of our identities.
Right.
And when somebody attacks who you are at your base level, you get real angry.
Yeah.
Like really,
Yep.
really angry.
Yep. So then we move on to reference Turtle Boy, a teacher fired for sexual misconduct as any type of legitimate source for anything ever. Now,
That's fair, Carly.
here's the thing about this one.
Yeah. Okay. So you.
First of all,
Yeah.
they brought up something that happened with that person that literally has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, so that's what's called a red herring in logical terms.
Yeah.
It's something to throw that's terrible and it distracts you from your actual like statement.
The statement itself,
Yeah,
right?
like the actual
right.
thesis of the.
So
of the
so
discussion.
let's take that quotation. I mean that parentheses out and just go to referenced Turtle Boy as any type of legitimate source for anything ever. Now, let's let's be clear. So Turtle Boy writes articles, yes?
Yes, his
Those articles are available to the public,
they're
yes?
editorials.
Yep.
Which means they are heavily leaning in one direction and also heavily opinionated.
They're opinion pieces,
Yes,
right?
so they're editorial.
But they exist,
But they do.
and
Isn't
everybody
everything-
has access to them, yes?
Yes.
So it can be counted as a frame of reference for something, right?
Especially in the context that we were discussing it in, because we were discussing it within the context of opinion.
Right.
We weren't talking about facts. We weren't
Right.
referencing peer-reviewed papers in Psychology Today.
Right.
We were referencing bigoted opinions.
Right.
And here's one.
Right, right.
Straight from the source.
So I did respond to them, and I said, you should have called in to voice your opinion. Our inbox is also always open. The devil's advocate statements were brought up as an opportunity for the co-hosts, the guests, and the viewers to express their opinions on, not because the host necessarily agrees with those statements. And regardless of whether or not you believe someone is a legitimate source, it's a source that exists. And again, it's an opportunity to address these topics. Thank you for your feedback.
So Matt Winters actually said something very similar. I agree that Turtle Boy is a shithead. I mean, I agree with you too. Is a shithead, shouldn't really be revered, but all you really did was point out that he did a story about what you were talking about, noting that Newsmax did a story about something isn't condoning that network.
Right.
So it was just a frame of reference for that side of the opinion.
Correct.
And
Yep.
that's what you just
Yep.
said.
So then Jill went on, and I have a screenshot of this as
We
well.
got
Pull it up.
more. Dink.
Jill said, I wasn't in a space where I could talk freely. I was commenting here about it. You have voice to someone who publicly stated that women should lose the right to vote and sue. One who has told disgusting lies about thousands of people and tries to destroy careers and families. I maintain that you don't cite sources like that with integrity. But hey, whatever, it's your show.
Okay, I see what's happening. I 100% see what's happening. So this is a logical fallacy that I fall into in arguments all the time. And I know, look at me throwing out big-ass words like logical fallacy. Look,
Doesn't that mean penis?
Phallic.
I took 4
is different
semesters
than
of
phallic.
philosophy,
Okay,
so
Go ahead.
yeah, it's totally
So go ahead.
phallic. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So like, Jill, my sister in Christ, Jill, you're falling into a fallacy, which, and you're trying to suck us into it just because you don't like a person's opinion, doesn't mean that their opinion is invalid. It means that you don't like their opinion. That's all it is. So, muck dragging Turtle Boy, who, again, I will openly say I think is a douchebag. Sorry.
And that
Turtle
is
Boy.
your opinion, and
that is
you're
my
right to feel
opinion,
that
and I
way.
have every right to share that.
I love him.
That's your
But that doesn't invalidate his voice.
that's your opinion.
Unfortunately, we live in the internet age,
Yeah.
and everyone has
Yep.
a voice.
Yep.
Everyone
Yep.
has a soapbox they can stand on now.
And honestly, I have a lot of friends that are huge followers and supporters, and and love what he does and his articles and my biggest thing is like I respect people's rights to their own opinions, and that's really what it comes down to. And I just feel like if you don't like somebody's opinion, that's fine as long as it's not aggressively hurting somebody or storming the library. And
But to be fair, you can say the same thing about Andrew Tate,
Yep.
because his speech, and the same thing with Turtle Boy.
Not your taint.
Not your
Not
taint.
Andrew's taint.
I'm sorry, you say the same thing
No,
about Andrew's
no,
taint. I'm
no.
sorry.
Andrew Tate, incendiary misogynist.
Yeah.
Same thing with Turtle Boy, incendiary right wing.
Yeah.
Says nasty things. It's not him personally that's the problem. It's his viewers and his readers that are the problem.
Yeah.
He has a voice and people listen. And
Yeah.
those people are the ones, he's incendiary. His people are the ones that do the dangerous stuff.
Okay.
Like show up in front of libraries and picket books about mittens.
See,
you
now
know?
I don't necessarily agree with that. Now,
Jesus,
I
this
feel
is,
like
this is the become rocket past Andrew's face.
I feel like just because they stormed the library doesn't necessarily mean that those are all followers of Turtle Boy. That's a different
No.
thing.
Right.
That's a different
Right.
thing.
He's part of a crowd of people.
Right.
All it takes is one person to listen to one other person to do something nasty.
Yeah.
And
Are you putting the responsibility on him?
Yeah.
so that was actually, strangely enough, that's actually a thing that was brought up years ago when we were talking about in the YouTube community. Because I don't know if you guys know, but I've been a content creator for a long time. But we were talking about what if someone high mucket, we'll say PewDiePie because he's like the highest of high. PewDiePie says, I hate this person.
Yeah.
Doesn't say go after this person.
Right.
Just says I hate this person.
Right.
And thousands and thousands and thousands of his fans bully the shit out of that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it PewDiePie's fault? Is it his responsibility? And the community and the guidelines and the law said yes.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
So it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same thing when famous people bitch and moan about people talking about them in articles and spreading rumors and all that shit. You're in the public eye. People are allowed to talk about you.
Call me crazy.
Same idea.
Is this not the same thing? Is when celebrities use their voice for things? What about like promotions and like Jennifer Aniston does? What is it, Neutrogena or whatever it is, skincare products? And when celebrities get sponsored by these companies, is that not the same thing? You're using your clout to
Exactly. You use
to
the
sell
platform.
something. So
Right.
is it the same thing where can you construe it as the same thing where you are expressing an opinion and now your followers are getting it? It's the same thing as I'm expressing I use this product, so now I want all you to go buy it. So I'm expressing my opinion, now I want you to all go follow it. Isn't that basically the same thing?
I agree.
I guess.
No, you guess. Don't say you guess.
Well, you
What
just
do
you
feel?
drifted off. You just drifted off of something different than what Kels was just
Oh, I'm
talking
sorry.
about.
No, he's
I
saying
thought
the
it
same
was
thing.
sort of the same thing.
Where I was talking about how Turtle Boy has a voice,
Yep.
clout, and
Yep.
people who follow.
Yep.
So he says a horrible thing.
Yep.
People go, yes, I agree with horrible thing, and then go do something nasty because of it.
Right.
Same idea.
In the public eye.
Somebody goes, I like Neutrogena.
Right.
Like, some famous
Yeah.
person goes, I like Neutrogena. Thousands of people buy Neutrogena
Yeah.
because their favorite celebrity,
Right.
Yeah.
buys Neutrogena.
So at what point are you responsible for?
I feel like
All that.
maybe it depends on the context, or it depends on and on specifically what it is that you say. I mean, it's one thing to be a supporter of Neutrogena, but it's a different thing to be like,
So that's the
I
difference.
support Neutrogena, and X company is garbage. Don't buy that. You know what I mean? Like that's
So,
an
and
extra
then
statement.
You
that-
replace those two things with people.
yeah.
Like, I support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And drag queens are pedophiles.
You heard it here first. Kels supports Donald
Good
Trump.
Lord,
Oh,
don't
Jesus
clip
Christ.
that.
That's gonna be clipped. That's gonna be clipped. It's gonna be
No,
clipped.
everybody's
Someone clip
gonna.
that.
Somebody clip it.
Somebody's gonna clip that, and it's just gonna be like pew 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 pew.
I love it.
But like,
Oh god!
and then
all right,
like,
we're talking about this for too long. This is where we're beating a dead horse. Honestly, we're
not
wasting
because
time.
they were all talking.
Wasting time talking about something. Yeah, I know. We're just talking in circles, though. It's the same. It's the same statement over and over
Yeah,
again.
like
the
Liz
bottom
said,
line
the
is
difference
the bottom line
intent.
is people are entitled to their opinions, and I support the right of people to have an opinion. You have every right. It's free speech. We talk about free speech, and we talk
Yeah.
about how everybody's entitled to an opinion, but like we can't play favorites where it's like, well, everyone's entitled to their opinion if your opinion is in line with mine. But if
See,
it's not,
I think
then
everybody's entitled to their opinion as long as it doesn't like put anyone's lives in danger.
Right.
Which is
Right.
Okay, Andrew's got feeling.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
Because any feelings
Get
nowadays,
closer.
any feelings nowadays will trigger somebody in one way or the other. So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, no
Right.
matter what your opinion is.
Right.
You're gonna find the people that are extremists, and then you're gonna find the people that don't agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And these are, by the way, these are three people who live in the middle. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm a
I think we're
liberal Republican.
We're
I don't
three
know what
very
I would
different
qualify
people, I
as
feel.
anymore.
Yeah, and
But,
that's
like-
I feel like that's the better statement is we might be somewhere in the middle, but we are three very
But we
different
have
people.
three very different people when
Three
it comes
very
to our
different
opinions.
people with
which
three very different opinions
makes
on
for a good discussion.
a lot of
Don't
a lot
think
of
we're
different
talking
topics.
too long. This is great. This
A
is
lot
content.
of different topics. So if anybody has anything to add, I mean, feel free to jump in the comment section. Kels, keep your eye in the
Yeah,
comment
I
section.
definitely am. Like Liz Whitaker said, I think the difference is intent. Cat Savage, yep, responsible for all of it. If you have followers, both the good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's a big issue. This is Carly. The big issue of authors, fans harassing reviewers, and people are expecting the authors to take that responsibility. That reminds me of like J.K. Rowling.
Right.
Like that whole situation. As long as I like what Matt says, as long as no harm is done, the opinion is valid.
Right.
Once harm is done, the opinion becomes dangerous.
Right. Right. Fair.
Oh Jesus! And Melissa Costa, that's a huge ass comment, and I
I'll
everybody read it.
Give you a second to unpack it.
Oh my God! All right.
You don't have to read it out loud. I'm just saying.
Right.
Feel free to read it. But
even if your opinion is mild, you're still gonna find people that listen to it and take it to the extreme.
right.
They apparently pulled over their car to write this comment. So.
Oh, so then you have to.
really
You know
Read
it's
read it,
serious.
I'm,
You know it's serious.
I'm gonna read this out loud. All right, I gotta read this out loud.
Go ahead.
I had to pull over to comment because you clearly don't know Turtle Boy's slanderous lies and tactics. It's just his supporters. That's a lot. Okay. They're just running with what he instigates.
Mm-hmm.
Jill and her. I'm not gonna read the rest of that. Teacher.
What? You said you were going to read it, and now you're not
I
going to
know,
read
but
it?
it's
Don't
so,
censor yourself.
It's
Don't-
so,
yeah,
it's,
no.
Okay, all right.
Read it.
well,
What
was said.
She's,
It's what
she's
was
going
said.
after Jill.
You're reading somebody's comment. Read it.
Jill and her biracial children had to leave their home for days after death threats caused by one of his articles.
Oh.
That is why she's so incendiary. Okay, see that's see now I'm not so mad.
See?
Yeah, makes sense.
See?
I just saw
now that-
biracial and freaked out. I didn't know what you were gonna say.
See?
All right.
Now
more.
there's
context.
the context. See?
Of why she's so
See?
visceral. Okay, that makes so
Right.
much more sense.
Okay.
All right,
All
so
right.
had to leave for 4 days because of the threats because of his articles. Her crime being a teacher and going to a BLM protest that was entirely peaceful. She said she had heated verbal exchanges with someone. So Turtle Boy tried to destroy her since he's so bitter about losing his career. Please don't talk to her in a patronizing manner. She's extremely smart and active and protecting LGBTQ spaces.
All right, so
now
now
we
to
have
be
some
fair, wait a
backstory.
minute. To be fair, I was never attacking Jill in any way. I was just responding to the things that Joe was saying, and I wanted to make it abundantly clear that I wasn't on one side or the other.
Yeah.
I was simply, when I say that I'm playing devil's advocate, it's literally exactly that.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
devil's
state
advocate.
opinions.
Yeah.
And for me to cite a source, regardless of whether or not you think that person is a legitimate news source, the things that we were talking about specifically that week were drag performers that were doing story time that were not right for the position. And to be fair, and
But you
again, this
brought
is
up
my
couple.
opinion. This is my opinion, and I'll openly say it's my opinion. They were valid points. They were inappropriate things. They were people that should not have been doing drag story time. But am I invalidating drag story time? No. Am I saying that drag story time shouldn't happen? No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. But
So
I mean,
you actually played a very, very key role in the discussion,
Mm-hmm.
including we had a caller who called in and was like, protect the children. Click.
leave the kids out of it.
Got real mad.
Yep. Yep.
We need voices like that, and the reason that we all need voices like that, specifically in this setting where we're sitting here and we're talking to you guys and having these discussions,
So we can have these discussions.
So we can have these discussions. And some
Yep.
people don't know that because they live in their echo chamber and don't know that this vitriol exists.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
it doesn't affect them.
Yep.
Can I ask you
exactly.
something? Because I don't know. Is there a vetting process for people who can do these drag time story shows? Is there a vetting process, or is
all right.
just sign up?
So there should be, and this is, I think this is one of the things that the right side really has an issue with, is that there are situations and circumstances where there aren't appropriate background checks. There aren't things in place that make sure that these people are appropriate for that setting. But I feel like that same thing can be true about any position. A teacher, a doctor, a police
Absolutely.
officer. Not everybody is appropriate for that position, and not everybody makes them look good. And I feel like again, the only thing that we were really doing when we brought up those articles specifically, were we were pointing out people that may not have been appropriate for that setting. And it's again, it's just playing devil's advocate. It's just trying to look at both sides of the spectrum. And I have attended almost every drag story time that we've done in Fall River. I've attended one or two of the drag story times in Taunton, and those people are Corey checked. The people
What does
that
Corey mean?
What does Corey mean?
Corey checked? What does
Corey
that mean?
check. It's checking to see if you have like a criminal record
Yeah,
or
background
any.
check.
it's a criminal background check to make sure that you are
you say
suited
you
for the
are?
position,
Yeah.
right?
Normal. They'll run it for regular most jobs. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's a normal thing.
Yep. So it's really trying to make sure that those people are appropriate for those jobs. And again, I don't want anybody that's watching right now to think that I was attacking Jill in any way. That's certainly not the case. It was more so I was defending my own actions and the things that I was saying on the show. And I do appreciate at the end the last thing that they said was. But hey, you do you. It's your show. Like, yeah, well, obviously, I'm gonna keep doing me. I'm gonna keep talking. But I do want to address those things because I don't, knowing that somebody out there watched the show and got that opinion of me in their head where they think that I'm condemning drag story time or I don't think it's appropriate or whatever, or I'm like, I'm never gonna bring my kids to that because I don't think it's appropriate. Well, that's not what I said at all. That's not how I feel.
Because it's recorded and you can rewind.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't you think it's divisive though to where the fact that you can do that, you can say stuff like that, and someone from that side is going to say, well, you weren't enough on our side, and then people from the other side are going to be like, well, you weren't enough on our side enough.
Yeah.
Andrew?
It's a double-edged sword. How you gonna figure
Well,
it
being in this position,
Kels.
being somebody
Welcome to the internet, my man.
I don't do that.
Being somebody that's
I don't
trying
do the
to,
And
interwebs.
yet you're on a podcast on the internet.
we're just trying to be informative here. We're just trying to
And
we're trying to get both opinions out there, and I really want to
thank
try
you,
to make
Louis,
sure.
by the way, criminal offender record information,
Yes.
Corey.
I really want to make sure that people, I don't think that people necessarily understand both sides of the issue. You know what I mean? And I think
And
it's
I
important.
respected that because,
people
like,
don't.
at the end of the show, you remember how I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "Why were you saying some of the things you were saying?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh no, okay, I get it now." Because you wanted to respect the debate,
Right.
and show what the debate can look like,
Right.
That's what this
And-
is about.
I know.
It's about having an open dialogue, and I feel like it's important to try to get both sides. And for me, it's more so like, well, let me try to explain to you why these people feel the way they feel. This is what they think of it. This is what they see.
Logical or
And
not.
a lot of people, and a lot of the comments that I read about drag story time, like the people that were against it, I noticed that a lot of the times they were saying things like they're teaching kids about sex and they're reading books about sex, and that's really not what's happening
All
at
I
all.
can think
They're reading
of-
books about mittens and
I know what's the comedian that we both like, the gay comedian from New York,
Mateo Lane?
Mateo Lane.
Oh,
All I can
love
think
him.
of is like he was like, yeah, he's like, I walked out on stage and he's like, yeah, I'm gay, whatever. And one guy was like, nope, and then got up and left, and he was like, what did he expect me to do for an hour? Like, lock the door.
Yeah.
Anal. Like,
I love Mateo
I love
Lane. He's
too.
hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. If you've never seen Mateo Lane, check
Go
him
follow
out.
him.
Check him out on TikTok
got
or
to see
YouTube.
him live, you bastard.
I did.
All right.
So my husband and I went for our anniversary to go watch Mateo Lane in Provincetown, and it was.
Patrick
it was
and I tried
such
to
a
get
good
tickets for the same night,
experience.
and we just couldn't.
Oh, it was hilarious, and they actually he singled my husband out at one point in the show. He was talking about video games, and
What do you play, Minecraft?
he was like, do you play games? What do you play? And my husband was like, oh yeah, I play PlayStation. I play Call of Duty. And he goes, oh well. He's like, what did he say? Oh, I play Fortnite, and he was like talking about Fortnite for a while. Went on and did the rest of his act. It was
I've watched
funny.
his Twitch
We
streams.
laughed, and then we were walking down the street after the show, and we saw him, and I could tell my husband like really wanted to get a picture with him and stuff. So I was like, "You want to go get a picture? Let's go." So I like went up to him. I was like, "Hey, like sorry to bother you. Like, can we get a picture?" And he looks over at my husband and he goes, "Oh, hey, Fortnite." And we walked away, and my husband looked at me and he was like, "I didn't even say anything about Fortnite. I said I played Call of Duty."
That's so fucking miles too. Oh man.
It was
Let's
good.
make the distinction.
That's
It was
funny.
great.
All right,
Click
so
hold-
that was a lighthearted. I figured I'd transition us out of
Yeah.
the heavy
was
discussion
great.
into the next
It
thing
was
that we were
great.
going to talk about.
So let's
So,
keep.
speaking of drag queen story time, you.
You just said segue out, and now
Yeah,
we're going to
but-
tie back into drag queen story
No,
time.
we're continuing
bus
on.
around.
Speaking of drag queen story time, that incited you to
Yeah.
call one of the local committee members, like call one of our
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get
Okay,
to that.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll get to that.
that's
I know.
just
We'll
the
get to
order.
that. We're not there yet. We're recapping first.
I know.
We're doing old stuff before we do new stuff.
Okay, well, we'll hold that then.
So yeah, so we talked about drag story time. We've talked about in weeks prior to that, we've talked about being a customer in a bar. We've talked about being a bartender in a bar.
DJs.
We've talked about being a DJ in a bar. So a couple of things that we have not talked about yet that we're going to is I want to make sure that I address being a parent and having kids and what it's like to try to have a nightlife when you're a parent and have children. I'm looking at you, Winters Clan, because you guys are new parents, so you're going to have to try to figure out how to do that. So we are going to have an episode that's basically about that. But another episode that is going to be super controversial is I want to discuss...
Are you talking about next week?
It might not be next week. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I want to discuss the police department. I want to talk about police.
Guys...
I feel like it's such a hot button issue.
Guys,
we are going to let's not talk about anything.
I'm just
I don't
saying,
want to address it at all right now, but I want to make sure
let me
we have
say
an
this
episode.
one thing.
Okay,
Let me
go
say this
ahead.
one thing. It got heated before we even discussed anything.
Yeah,
Like-
it did. It got very tense between the three of us. It was
Yeah.
fun, but we won't talk about it at all.
But
We're not
nope,
gonna-
but it's a perfect subject for you to leave voicemails.
yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is. It is. Yeah, absolutely. So if you have questions or things
So
you want to say,
the state
then
of the policing in
yeah,
the United
yeah.
States.
I mean, it's just police and we'll just leave
Policing
it
in
open ended.
general
We'll say
in the
police in
United
general. Our phone number is down there on the bottom. Don't call in right now, please. Don't call in right now. But you know,
But after the show, feel free to call in and
Voicemails.
preemptively
yeah,
strike that
and
bitch.
we'll
Want
listen
voicemails.
to it. We'll listen to it next week, and we'll address it and all that stuff. So that's a topic I want to discuss. But then after we discuss that stuff, so the original plan for this show was we were going to talk about nightlife, and that was going to be
Yes,
the whole
Lord.
thing. But I feel like we've drifted from there, and we've started talking about other things. So I think that after this season, I think we're going to start drifting.
Exhausted.
Yeah, we're going to start drifting towards other topics of conversation. This is going to become a
Let's
very
be real. We're all involved in
a very Seinfeld show where it's a show about nothing.
Don't use Seinfeld.
Well, I'm just saying it's a show about nothing. There's nothing specific that the show is going to be about. We're just going to, we'll address different things every week. As the topics come,
I
we're
would say
going to
it's-
talk
it's
about it.
It's topical.
Topical?
It's topical.
Like a cream?
Yes.
But also topical
Say I know
in
too
the
much about
editorial
those.
sense.
I'm using one right now.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Are you creaming right now?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
That is what we in the community call it, creaming.
Anyway. All right, so we are going to move on to our new topics of discussion. We have a lot of new things to talk about.
We do.
So let's start at the top of the list. Kels, throw it on the screen, and we will go from there.
Throw it up there.
So on so
talking
after
about-
all the things went down for Drag Queen Storytime, I did speak to the city councilman from Taunton. His name is John McCall. He's the city councilman, and he reached out and he said that he would like to speak with the community. He wants to talk to the LGBT community. So with that being said, I have organized and set up at Bobby's Place an event to speak to John McCall. So throw that up on the screen. So John McCall is going to be at Bobby's Place on, I believe it's Wednesday, February 15th.
Wednesday, February 15th
At 7 p.m. And he's inviting everybody in the community to come out and sit down and have a conversation. But we as a community, and I was speaking to the South Coast Network about this, we want to try to make sure that this is like done appropriately. We don't want anybody yelling. We don't want it to turn into a screaming match. We don't want it to turn into crazy arguments. So there is an event page for it on Facebook. So what I am encouraging everybody to do is to find that event page on Facebook, or you can reach out to my inbox on the Just in Time podcast, or my personal inbox if you're friends with me. And if you have questions for John McCall, send us those questions, and I will relay the questions to the network, to the representative for the network, because there is somebody that is screening those questions. We're going to pick the best ones, and then we're going to have a forum. We're going to sit down and we're going to discuss things with them, but it's not going to be so much about everybody just standing up and speaking their mind. We're going to pick the legitimate questions. We're going to ask these questions and try to get some answers, and really try to figure out what the call to action is moving forward when it comes to events in Taunton, when it comes to drag story times, or any LGBT event, for that matter, because we want to make sure that groups like NSC 131 don't show up and storm buildings and scare children. I mean, if you watch any of the news stories about what happened at the Taunton Library, there are children that have nightmares that are now seeking therapy because of the actions of that group, and it's terrifying. And I think that this is a perfect time to address that. So I feel like if you guys want to be a part of that,
I dropped the link in the chat on our Facebook page on this actual video.
Cool.
So it's right there. It's got a bunch of numbers in it, but that's the link.
Yeah, so if you want to be a part of that, it's going to be February 15th at Bobby's Place in Taunton, 7 o'clock. The bar itself will be open, but the bar in terms of drinks
Alcohol?
will not be open.
Yeah,
you will not
wise.
be able to buy any alcohol until after the forum
That
is
is
over.
wise. Good, smart
That
decision.
way, we
Smart.
go into it, with the right head and clear, clean thoughts, and
Yeah.
it stays civil and calm. And because this is a very important topic, so I feel like it's very important that we handle it the right way.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
So yeah, that's going to be on Wednesday, February 15th. And speaking of the South Coast LGBT Network, pull up the next one, throw it on the screen. We started talking about the Pride events this year. So,
I'm so excited.
The South Coast Network is setting up and gearing towards our Pride events for New Bedford and Taunton. The New Bedford event is going to be held on June 3rd, which I believe is a Saturday, and the Taunton event will be the following week on June 10th. So we're really excited about that. They've been successful every year. Taunton's first one was actually last year, so this is our second.
Liz Whitaker is in the chat.
Yep.
And she's just like, woohoo! So Liz is one of our board members.
So this is our second event, our second annual event for Taunton. New Bedford's obviously been doing it for a while, but if you go to the South Coast Network, the South Coast Network webpage, and you go into their events column, you can pull up this whole events thing for Pride. You can donate. You can be a sponsor. You can get a vendor table if you're a vendor. If you have a business and you'd like a table, you can table at the event. There's a lot of really cool things that happen. It is obviously a family-friendly festival.
I'm sorry, Liz, the committee.
What is it?
She's on the committee, not
Right,
the board.
right. Yeah, the committee and the board are two different
Whatever,
things.
you're still amazing.
So there's a lot of really exciting things that happen. It's definitely a good time. Taunton did their first one last year, and it was huge.
Dude, it was so good.
It was
I
huge.
loved it.
It was fantastic.
I loved it.
So good.
They did such a good job,
Really
and
did.
it's only going to get better. This year they have in Taunton they have Black Brandy lined up to be the co-host with
She's
myself.
fantastic.
I will be hosting with Black Brandy, which is going to be really cool. And
I love Brandy. So
we have a
much.
lot of exciting things in the work. There's going to be a live band. There's going to be a drag show. There will be lots and lots of vendors and opportunities for you to come out and support the community. And that's all the way in June. So we have such a long time before that happens. But that's what's going on with the network right now. So
Sweet.
yeah. But speaking of networks, I do also want to address the Fall River Pride Committee, which I am the events and entertainment director for the Fall River Pride Committee. So we are also in talks about our Pride event, and they are doing things a little bit differently this year.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
This year.
So
Is this the one that can't be read?
yes. I
Okay.
mean, you can put it on the
I'm
screen.
gonna
Maybe
fix it.
people
Here.
can zoom in if they want to.
Just.
So let me explain.
magnifying
Let me
glass.
explain how this is going to work.
This helps. I'm gonna make it a little
So,
bigger so you guys can see
Fall
it.
River Pride this year, they are leaving it to everyone else to decide what the theme for Fall River Pride is. So, if you
So
check out
tiny.
this flyer, it is on the Fall River Pride Committee page. You can pull it up on Facebook. So basically, they have selected 10 slogans or 10 phrases, and they want people to vote on those phrases. And they
What are
would
the
like
phrases?
artists to come up with images to go with the phrases. So I'll read the 10 phrases for you. The first one is strengthen the ties, break the chains. Strengthen the ties, break the chains. The second one is pride around the world. The third one is proud heritage, powerful future. The fourth one is a day without pride is a day without sunshine. Number 5, reflections of pride. Number 6, here and here to stay. Number 7, you got to give them hope. Number 8, hope will never be silent. Number 9, color our world with pride. And number 10, commemorate, educate, liberate, celebrate. So basically, they're leaving it open for people to pick one of those 10 phrases, artists specifically, pick one of those 10 phrases and create some sort of artwork that corresponds with that
And
phrase.
Create something cool.
And then submit it. And again, all this information is found on the Fall River Pride Committee page. Submit your artwork. They are
Maybe
going
I'll
to
submit something.
That first
Yeah,
one,
do
man.
it.
I think that might be fun.
That first one you said, man,
Yeah.
I can like my mind just ran with all the things that people could do. What was it? Break the chains.
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know.
It was-
don't remember. I just read 10 of them. Andrew.
He's like, I
The
don't
hell?
fucking know.
15 more. Let's go.
Strengthen the ties, break
Strengthen
the chains.
ties, break the chains. That's amazing. I think that's the
that's
best
cool.
one.
That
That's
is
hands down the
cool.
best
Yeah.
one. I love it.
So they come up with designs. People are going to vote on the designs, and then whatever the winning design is going to be will be the shirt
Will be the
for
shirt for
Fall
that
River
year.
Pride for this year, which is
That's dope.
I think a fantastic idea. They are working on a special celebrity co-host this year, which I don't want to say specifically who it is, just in
I'm
case
doing
they
it.
just in case they
It's Andrew.
just in case they don't get booked.
It's Andrew.
But yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to. And in addition to that, speaking of Fall River, on February 18th, they are doing what they're calling a community conversation. So at the Fall River Recreation Center, they're holding an open discussion, kind of like the John McCall thing, but minus the city representative.
Minus the like just all
So
of us
basically
talking.
what it is they're inviting, so it's actually the opposite. So what they're doing is they're inviting the community that is maybe against drag story time to come in and have a conversation with a panel that is for drag story time.
Okay, so they are doing the opposite. Like straight up, they're doing a town hall with right-leaning people
Right. They want the right-leaning people to be the people that come in and
that are
ask
like,
questions.
hey, right.
And then, they'll answer those questions. So anybody that, thinks that they're reading sexual books to kids or whatever can come in and
No,
ask
it's
those
about
questions.
mittens.
And I mean, I'm
Martin
going to
Luther
assume...
and earthworms.
Yeah, actually, the last one in Fall River, they read a Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
book because it was...
Sean did
it
that,
was
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That was great.
Miss
I thought it was
Gloria. And speaking of Miss Gloria is going to be doing drag story time on February 25th in Fall River, but they are doing it at Recreation. So the idea behind that is Recreation is not a public building. So that means
Ooh.
that nobody will be able to storm the building because it's not a
Because it's
public
not
building.
Yep.
Cat Savage wants to know what's the deadline for the artwork.
Oh, that's a good question.
That
That's
is a very good
fantastic
question. That's why I was like, please stop talking.
That is a fantastic question. The deadline for the work
Yes, it was mittens.
Mittens.
Tuesday, March 7th,
just realized it was you,
2023.
Monica.
Deadline, guys,
Sorry.
you asked me a question and
I
then
know,
you were
I'm reading the
interrupting me.
comments too.
Shh. Deadline for submissions is Tuesday, March 7th, 2023.
There you go.
So the winner will be announced on Friday, March... Why does that say... Oh, I thought that said March 40th.
That's the thing.
March
That's the thing.
forever if.
Friday, March 10th, they will announce who the winner is, and then they will go from there.
Ren Parry says all the books are also put on Fall River Pride's Facebook so parents can look them up beforehand.
Oh, that's fantastic.
amazing.
See, I think that's great.
problem?
I think that's great. So that's, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of, and it's funny because when I was at the last Pride meeting for Fall River, the president of the Pride Committee said something that was like really, really like deep. They said it's hard to hide things in the shadows when you bring everything to light, and it's you know what I mean. It's so true. It's so true when you put everything out there for everyone to see. How can you
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on too.
It's
Heather,
amazing.
the art thing is for Fall River Pride. So you can actually look it up if you want to. Snickle Fritz, by the way,
Yep.
your babysitter.
Hey, Sniggle Fritz.
They were-
Sniggle
they were
Fritz was
like
with us when
Fritz.
we were doing our sound check yesterday.
Testing, yeah.
we were testing our new sound.
I'm like, who's that? I was
So.
like, it's Heather.
Snickle Fritz.
She's one
Yeah.
of mine.
Yeah. And then what else do we have? I think there was one more thing that I wanted to bring up.
There was paint night.
Oh, right. So Bobby's Place is doing a paint night on February 11th, which is a Saturday from 6 to 9. It is $30 to sign up. There is a QR code. You'll be able to find that link on the Bobby's Place Facebook page as well as the website, www.bobbysplacenightclub.com. You'll be able to buy tickets and show up on Saturday, the 11th of February, for a Valentine's paint night, which I
That
think is a
sounds
fantastic
really
idea.
fun, though.
Yeah,
Amazing.
It's a great idea.
I love it.
It's an absolutely
That
great
sounds
idea.
hella
I'll be
fun.
there.
Have some drinks,
I'll be
paint
there.
some
Yeah.
things.
So if you guys have never been to a paint night, and I've been to 2.
I've never been.
I've been to you. I mean, the paint nights that I went to were like middle class white women with a lot of wine.
Yeah.
So
There's other ones.
I know, right? Shut up. Excuse you. But yeah, it's you hang out.
Yeah.
They have something very basic
Yeah.
that you can paint, and they do like draw a circle. All right, now add this to the circle. They walk you right through it, and then you end up with
I'm
a
here for it.
badass
Yeah, I like
painting.
I'm here for it.
And you like, I have my mom and I went to one, and we ended up drawing like this really cool moonlit
Yeah.
tree with flowers coming off it, and my mom
My
was like,
husband
"Holy
did
shit,
one.
I can paint!" And
My
I was
husband
like,
did one, and he came home with a peacock.
a peacock.
What was it? What was it supposed to be?
A peacock.
Oh,
Andrew.
well then, good job. Good job, Miles.
Jesus. God.
They're fun though.
All
and,
right.
Yeah.
With all that being said, guys, we are going to move on to our next segment, which is Speakeasy.
ding 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 ding.
The Speakeasy is when we open it up to you, the public. So if
Speakeasy
you
is
guys
where I
want to
have to
call into the
babysit the mute
show,
button.
yeah, if you guys want to call into the show, now is the time to do that.
on.
508-802-4356.
You're listening anyways.
This is your opportunity to call in and voice your opinion on anything that we talked about throughout the show today, or anything I forgot to talk about, or something you would like us to talk about. Now's the time to call in and have that conversation with us. 508-802-4356. So
Terrified.
That's the number.
Last week made me so jump scary.
why?
Because like,
It's exciting.
tell him the truth. Tell him the truth about what you did to me last week.
I'm not saying that on the internet.
Oh no.
No,
Oh,
he had me hovering over the hang up button at
Oh
one point.
no.
Not telling you when, but he
scared.
was like, "Just do it," and I was
do
like,
it.
"No,
No.
no."
No.
But yeah, so since I told you about what I did this week, because obviously we're holding so that people can call.
Yeah.
What did you do this week?
What did I do this week?
Yeah,
Nothing.
nothing fun.
I worked.
Did you do anything
I
fun this
worked.
week?
Actually, it's weird because I got to be
actually-
honest. The bar scene has been dead.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Like every time I've shown up here, nobody's here.
Nope.
Yeah.
Even
Nobody.
I left the other day.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
somewhere else.
I don't
This is
know if
boring.
people. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or.
No, it's not you.
It's not you.
Yeah, I just
not
I
you.
don't understand what the deal is, but
Heather's
people,
like, story time.
people are not coming out lately, and it's and we have karaoke. We do karaoke every Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. We do open stage night on Thursday. Thursday is LGBT night, and we do a drag show every Saturday.
That's been going well, right? The Thursdays?
Yeah. Open stage night is fantastic.
come check it
actually.
out.
It's hella fun, and it's not just drag.
No, yep. You can do comedy. You can juggle. You can twirl a baton. You can sing. You can dance. You can.
It's Bobby's Got Talent.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good time.
Everybody's saying it's not you in the chat.
It's
not
what?
you. Everybody's saying it's not you in
Oh,
the chat.
I love you guys.
See?
Carly
Love you
says
guys.
we're broke. That's why.
It's weird. It's weird. So I guess nobody wants to call in,
Yeah,
huh?
nobody does.
That's
Actually,
it.
you know what?
What?
As a preemptive strike, I kind of want Crash to call in because he brought up a really good point earlier.
Who?
About next week. Crash the Stampede. Lewis. We talked about him before.
Okay.
About next week as a preemptive strike. I
No,
think
we
it would
can't.
be.
We can't talk about. We can't talk
Can't?
about next week.
All right. Well,
no, we can't talk
please
about next week.
be available to talk next
Yeah,
week.
we can't talk about. We can't talk about next week now.
Because he
I
brought
wanna
up a
save
really
it.
good point.
I want to save
earlier.
it. Nope. I want to
Way
save
earlier.
it. We're gonna save it
Cat
for
wants
next
to
week.
call. All right.
Don't
well,
say you wanna
fucking
call, just
then,
call.
We are
Cat.
gonna save it
You
for
don't have
next
to
week.
say
yeah.
you want to, just
Somebody
do
wants
it.
to call, just call.
It's,
like this.
it's Cat Savage. It's
Oh,
my drag
Cat
sister.
Savage.
We're waiting.
Just
Cat
fucking call.
Savage.
Come on, Cat.
Yeah. So this is.
So there's
let's.
so many things that we were talking
That's
about.
fine. Let's
we talked
hit that
about-
last call button. That's it.
Hit the last call
Hit the
button.
last call button.
This one?
No. The last call segment. Kels.
Jesus, are we done?
Last
Jesus.
call segment.
Ah,
Last
fine.
call.
Here, last call.
Which
There's-
means if somebody wants to call in, we're at last call.
That's the last
So
one.
this is it. Because we're not going to sit here and wait for people to call all night. If
I
people
know,
don't want to
that's
call,
true.
they don't want to call. It is what it is.
Yeah, guys, you're lost.
We covered a lot
Whatever.
of really important things today. We
We did.
we talked about a lot of important stuff. And
Oh, who's this coming through?
who's the what?
William
make
tried to
things
call,
up.
but it didn't work.
No, no one's calling. I was just
William, did you dial the wrong number?
Positive affirmation?
508-802-4356. It's right there. Can't miss it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's it.
It's not
that it?
working.
That's it.
Apparently,
Is that it,
everybody's
though?
saying it's not working.
It's not working.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, then you're calling the wrong number, guys. Learn how to use your phone. I feel like this is operator error.
Oh.
I don't think it.
Just shame the listeners.
Hang on, I've got
That's what you do, right?
804, 803, 803, and it's wait.
Someone's calling.
Hang on. That one worked.
But wait.
That one worked.
But wait, that's small.
But wait, there's more.
You are on the air.
Caller.
Hi, it's Liz. It worked.
It's wait.
Hi, Liz. Did you say
Witter?
Liz?
Is it Liz like the
Yeah.
committee member?
Hey, Liz. Hey.
Liz,
Hey,
like,
girl, hey.
Yeah, your favorite Liz.
Liz,
Hi,
hi, we're gonna have
guys.
to
Can you turn her up? I can't
Yeah.
hear her.
Sure can.
Say hello to everybody.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Hello.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. I saw that no one could get through, so I was like, let me try to call, and it worked.
Apparently, you're a special human.
So everybody else is lying. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they don't have your magical
Well,
lesbian
you know
powers.
what? I did for a second. I was like, the Google Voice thing making me say who it was first threw me off, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what's tripping people up. But
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
here I am, living proof.
But here we are. Here we
The phone
are.
number was-
You just a
are.
demo?
Yeah, but let's
Liz,
talk
are
about
you
Pride.
excited for Pride this year?
Babe, you know how sad I was to have to miss our meeting last night because of a
Yes.
sick child.
Yes.
But yes, I'm very excited. I've been working on our spreadsheets today.
Good. Good. Well, I mean,
Looking
sick
for
children come first,
volunteers.
obviously.
Sick children
But
definitely converse.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, you missed a lot, but I mean, we'll obviously catch you up in the next meeting, and we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot going
Yeah.
on, and this year is obviously going to be a million times better than last year. So.
A
Dude,
million.
I'm so
I mean,
sorry.
last year was phenomenal.
Last
Yeah,
year
it's
was
gonna
so
it's gonna be
baller.
pretty hard to top, but
I had fun.
I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna, especially since we have Black Brandy as our host.
I'm so excited.
You know, I literally have been asking for that since the night of last Pride.
Yeah.
Because we were at Bobby's, and I was like, please, can we have Black Brandy?
Yep. Yep.
I made
Big
the
facts.
mistake of trying to keep
Yeah.
up with Black Brandy dancing, and I couldn't walk for like 3 days. It was entirely my fault because
cute.
it was her and I one night, and I was like, "Ooh, this is terrible."
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So about Pride, though, if anyone
Apparently we
else
do
there
have call
listening
waiting.
wants to
Put
volunteer,
them on hold.
Call from.
I'm sorry, Liz. What did
To
you say?
accept, press 1. To send a
my
voicemail,
God, stop.
press 2.
Sorry, I'm learning how to
Liz,
Google
you still
what
Voice.
there?
did you do to me? Well, yeah, what the hell?
I know. Sorry, I'm
What
still
in the
learning how
hell?
to Google
All right,
Voice.
guys.
Kels.
Go ahead, Liz.
I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, if any of your listeners tonight want to volunteer, please send me a message.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's
Volunteer.
actually. I'm glad that
Volunteer.
you said that. If anybody wants to volunteer, Liz Whitaker on Facebook.
Whittaker.
Feel free to reach out. We could always use volunteers, and that would be amazing. And I am so glad that you brought that up, Liz. Thank you.
We need
Yeah,
volunteers.
no problem.
All right. Well, we appreciate you
I'm
calling, and we love you. And I will
love
see you
you
at the next
guys.
meeting.
Thanks, Liz.
Yes, I'm sure I'll see you before then. But yes, definitely at the next meeting.
All right.
Love you, Liz.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys.
All right, if you guys want to call in, and this is your last chance to do so, 508-802-4356. Call in, leave your
Literally
name.
just missed Cat.
Yeah.
No, well, that's fair. I
But
didn't
it
realize that we had call waiting.
Call waiting. I know.
know,
I
that
was
was
like,
a
I'm
thing.
so
That was a thing.
confused.
I'm like, what is this beep? Beep, beep.
Yeah,
Why is it happening?
that's a thing.
Meep.
That's a thing.
I didn't know.
But, I mean, it
Well,
is
now
what
we
it is.
know.
So Cat,
Yeah.
call back.
Now we know.
Knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
You guys.
80s kids unite.
Oh God! All right, so we're gonna wrap things up. We are at that point in the show anyway, so it's fine. If you did not get a chance to call in, or if we had some issues, feel free to give us a call after the show airs and leave us a message, and we will listen to your message live on the air next week.
Please.
As always, I want to thank you guys for being on the show with me. I want to thank everybody who did attempt to call in, everybody who commented. If you would like to donate, please feel free to do so. You can see our links at the bottom of the screen. We have our PayPal, our Cash App, our Venmo. Any donations that you give to us, we are going to use to try to improve our sound equipment, as well as trying to build our merch. And then Pride season is coming up, so there's a lot of really cool things that we're gonna be doing for Pride. So you can definitely join us next week for our show, and then we are going to be doing a special segment on February 15th. We will be going live when John McCall is at Bobby's place. So with all that being said, that is all the time that we have tonight. You guys were just in time for some Just in Time, and we will see you next time. Hasta la pasta. Have a good night.
Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I I talk shit when I'm justified. They wanna get it, I'ma give it to them. Just in time. Who's that? Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified.